Okay, so got bring up the. Can you bring up the Etherpad? Sure. So ever since the branding was announced last year, I've been working on trying to get the theme of the forums upgraded to match it. When I was looking at that, I thought at that time it'd be a good time to upgrade the forum software, get it and kind of simplify it to make it easier to keep it upgraded and make sure there wasn't any one person that could be a roadblock in the future about keeping the forums up to date. Right now, I think I got the forums about 95% done, the theme. And can you show the forum? Sure. It's kind of matching, you know, like I'm doing the best I can to make it match other sites. Where one of the things I want to do also is kind of simplify the layout of the different sections, make certain sections more clear. So, instead of having an absolute beginner team, I'm going to change the name to New to Ubuntu. Because some people felt like, well, I'm not a beginner, I've been using Windows for 20 years. And they found it consulting, so stuff like that, and I thought it just sounded better. And also pull in more community resources because there's just a lot of people who use the forums who are just not aware there's a bigger community out there. That's a major shame. So I've been got the color scheme matching. I've took like a lot. They have a lot of icons that were bluish, and I got them matching the orangish color. I pulled in some of those fan icons too. So there's many things as I can that are Creative Commons icons now, or stuff created by the design team that I think we could use. So on the pad, I got a list of steps that we still need to do to put this in production. So the first thing I guess I want is somebody from the design team to look at the test form and just sign off on it, make sure there's just not some obvious things I'm missing or.
Can I ask the question differently? Is there are all the because then there might be. I don't want to hold off on publishing it.
Right.
For the sake of some small things that could then be just.
Well, we could definitely keep on.
Because I don't know what the process is. So
well, we definitely don't want to aim for perfection. We should maybe we should put it out there and then.
Yeah, the whole thing was getting a little bit. I'm like, we got to get that out.
I'm inclined to suggest that if you've done the infrastructure changes that you were intending to do, and the technical platform is now up to scratch.
Well, there's a couple things. So this is James. So we'll have to start. So the one key thing that doesn't work is the launch pad.
SSO integration.
It does not work anymore.
Outstanding.
So somebody will have to look at that and watch.
Do you know offhand if we did that or
somebody?
We must have paid someone to do that.
I think Stuart.
Excellent. Okay.
But I got a trouble ticket in for it. I've talked to some people on the Launchpad team, and they're aware of the problem. It doesn't mean it's being looked at yet, but so that's the one thing. That's the one thing that is this on the current forums now that currently does not work on the new forum. I found now on this list. I thought somebody from IS probably would want to do a security check of the plugins that we will install on the forums.
Are there major changes between what you have installed on the current forums and before?
In most of the cases, they're just upgraded versions. They're just upgraded. But there are a couple new plugins. Let me look.
I mean, I would like to do that, but I don't think we need to block it because I realize it's been going on for quite some time.
Right. I don't think there's been anything that, like, most of them were ones that we're using on one anyway.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what are our blockers for?
So I think if we really, I don't know how many people depend just on Launchpad.
I
do.
I think
I don't.
Launchpad logins for the forums specifically, not Launchpad itself. I think we should block on that.
Okay.
There will be a regression.
Yeah, there will be a regression.
I mean, I use a single sign-on.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll talk to Stuart today and see what kind of timeline we can get in terms
Okay.
of fixing that.
Okay.
Are there any other proper blockers?
No, there's no blockers.
Then-
There's some things we should do, I think, while we're doing things. While we're doing this change anyway, like, I would like to get rid of the, no, hopefully we're not gonna shut down the forums. I think this is time to clear out our forum archives because that's data. Like on
Yeah.
June 6th, there will be nothing in the forum archives that applies to a currently supported version of Ubuntu.
Okay.
And there's been some argument
Thank you.
within the staff about, you know, if you don't keep institutional memory, you'll make the same mistakes again.
I'd rather people asking you questions than have people
Us too.
find the old
Right.
crap and keep breaking their wireless.
That's
sort
right,
of bad.
and I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Okay.
That the underlying technology that Ubuntu is based on now, you can't take old fixes and apply it to
Yeah.
a new version. So I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
So somebody posted a poll and like 80% of our users really wanted to keep the former archives.
I was in that, it was like a huge long argument. I kept trying to make my point. The problem is that some people think that the old archive information is correct, and it is not. I have
No.
multiple people from multiple platform teams telling me, you need to delete the old kernel stuff because people will go and do it because they find it on the official Ubuntu forums,
Right.
and it wastes half a day for me to clean out the stuff.
Right.
I would rather just delete it and lose the little bit of worthless institutional knowledge and have someone ask the question again and have it up to date
Right.
than doing, rolling the rock up the hill and then having it fall
Right,
every
right.
single
I agree.
release.
So I'm going to put that to official vote of the Forums Council.
That would be awesome.
So
And I'll be more than happy to get any team person to
Right.
vouch on this because it's a
Yeah,
real
yeah.
problem for the kernel team.
If you get somebody in the forum,
Yeah.
just to send an email to the Forums Council and just explain their position.
Got it. You will have to email today,
All
probably.
right, okay. Another thing I would like to do is just improve the quality of the posts in the forum. Now, we can't do that, but I would like to maybe figure out some way to pool the wisdom of the crowds.
Is there a way that we could do peer-reviewed edits
No.
on?
And I don't think that's what this forum should be.
Okay.
Now, I think there should be peer review, somebody say, this is a good post, this is a bad post.
Okay.
And so there's a couple things. There's something called post thank you. We used that for a little bit. It started choking the hardware. But we have new hardware now, and plus we get rid of the forum archive, so it'll shrink the size of the database, so we might be able to handle it now. The problem with post thank you was so somebody posted something, and people found it useful, they thanked the person. The problem we had that people would start asking for things. Well, there's a simple fix to that. We just make a rule. If you ask for thanks, then you're added to a group called no thanks, and you can never receive thanks again.
Oh, I see.
Another one is there's something called helpful post, and it just tells you if this, and you just mark if this post was helpful for you.
Okay.
It's not as robust as Phil's post thank you, and the graphics are kind of ganky, so I'd have to redo the graphics for it. But it also is another option. I would almost want one that's just called risk, like you can mark a post is that
Risky.
If this is a risky thing to do or not. Because I don't mind people posting stuff that's a little bit weird, but I just don't want people posting stuff that could possibly damage the machine. And if somebody adds like we block people from posting devs, but if somebody points to a dev file, it automatically marks this being extra risky, stuff like that. So I would definitely want to find a way to definitely help point to quality. Because right now, the only way you can tell quality is by a lot of people use people's post count as quality.
Yeah.
That just means that, not necessarily that they're
Yeah, they just don't have a life.
So they're chatty.
Yeah.
They're just chatty. So, one other thing that a lot of staff are missing that right now our current forums kind of has a pseudo coffee theme, which I didn't feel matched the new theme of Ubuntu.
Oh, the beans?
The beans, so. Yeah, see.
What do people like those?
Yeah, but when I first
I don't know. It's a store thing.
I think, having rewards and badges and things for
Right.
being active and being good
Right.
is you know, is I think
Right.
quite important. You know, there are people who
Encourages
Right.
people to
It encourages
participate.
people.
Right,
That's
can you go
good.
to the forums and pick out?
Because they're staying up all night drinking coffee and answering
Yeah,
questions.
but when I first started looking on the forum, I was so confused.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was cool.
I'd like to get on to like with the new theme.
Yeah.
Is there any way we could just start to cut down on the clutter in general?
Well, I have, so-
I would like to just start shutting some of that crap off.
So we're gonna go to the
I
forums.
always turn people's
No,
faces
like-
at their picture.
So I'm kind of redesigned this a little bit. If you can go down a little bit, I added a template change that cut out a lot of what's on the bottom.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
They got rid of the
That
legend.
user list?
Well, no, the user list will still be there. There's
Is
not,
it?
there's
Scroll
not,
down?
what's going on? But there used to be a legend. They would tell you, well, this is a this is a HTML post, and this
Oh,
is,
okay,
and I got rid of that, and it also got rid of, so it cuts about 3 inches from the bottom,
okay.
so that helps. We can turn to what's going on and off.
Yeah, so does that like hit the database and stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
It will, I think it does hit the
Yeah.
database.
But not hard, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. I thought it would be stats were available anyway, so therefore, I didn't think it generated for everybody.
It's
Yeah,
probably
it does.
heavily cached.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have memcache, but it's
Yeah,
cheap.
just shut it off.
It's a cheap operation. That's not the problem. Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting for like a minute, but then help me out, design.
There's a yes.
I think that we're discussing. You know, I don't think it matters. I don't think it makes
No.
that much difference. I think it's, you know, people. It gives. If you don't know, because the audience for this, we've got to remember this is a massively important resource. When you Google for help, this is where you get taken.
Right.
How do I do blah in Ubuntu?
Yeah.
There it is. And we need to.
Yeah.
You know, I think we need to focus on the fact that that's what we're trying to do, and that this isn't something we can just put up there and, you know, expect it to run and live.
Right.
Actually, we've been better off doing a little often to sort of tweak it and move it in the right direction than trying to do everything. But I think stats, people like stats.
Yeah.
Nerdy people especially.
Yeah, but on the
like
front
stats.
page.
They're kind of down at the
But you can shrink
That's
it.
not the
Okay.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
we've got, if you scroll up, I don't know
Yeah.
whose screen we're looking at. It's up here that we need to make sure things stay quiet and
Right.
directed. Though
Right.
I don't know how many people
Right,
come to
I
the
haven't-
homepage.
Right.
So
Okay.
I bookmark a subforum.
So this is built in. I have not figured out how to edit that and make that just information we need. So that's one of the things I would like to do. This is a plugin, and I kind of put this in because I was trying to make it match the nav bar that's on top of other Ubuntu pages.
Yeah, because that's actually those things, like that link to ubuntu.com, download Ubuntu, Ubuntu community, that kind of falls into the masthead.
Right.
So can you bring up Planet Ubuntu,
Sure.
please? Sorry. So if you look at the... What? You never go to Planet Ubuntu? Shame. No.
I do use this browser.
So can you see at the top there, we've got
Right.
this kind of what we call the masthead,
Right.
which is basically the phone home buttons.
Right.
So if we used the same principle on the forums, that
Right.
would remove one row
Right.
of clutter, you know, one row
Right.
of navigation.
Well, that nav bar will be there no
Yeah.
matter what.
But can you do this? Is it possible to do this white sliver at the top?
Not without editing the templates. And once you get into editing the templates, then
it gets complicated.
then
Every
time
upgrade
you
was
upgrade the
screwed.
form,
Yeah.
you have to re-edit the
Because
template.
I mean, can we go back to the forums header, please?
Sure.
So I just want to be clear here. Once technical blocks are removed,
Right.
I'd like to see this go live. So
Right.
all the conversations that we're having now
Right.
are all non-blocking
Right.
conversations.
Right.
Can we look to see what it looks like when we actually see a post?
Right,
Like a
and I just
thread?
want to show you that. So go to
Yeah.
general help. And just pick any of them. Now, a lot of things are not there because
That's
we
way better
didn't-
than, that is way better than what you had last time. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
So, and I needed to redo the database. I needed to rerun the script on the database to put everybody's user titles in. But now the user titles are basically the same size as a line of text. They're .12 Ubuntu font, and they have like, so a Ubuntu member has a little Ubuntu symbol next to it. Users have different little, I took some of the emoticons and stuff like that, and so they're not as like big and copy based, but I think they're still fun. I'm creating more every day. I thought about now asking the community itself and saying, if you want to create some user ranks or some smiles, it needs to be in 12-point font, it needs to be this size.
Can you scroll down a little?
Sure.
To see what it feels like to like read.
So here's what the new smileys look like.
Oh, yeah.
There's no animated ones. I'm not against animated ones, but I want them to kind of look like.
No animation.
Like, I'm not
no, I mean, dude, we gotta. The problem is that like I don't feel like when we go and there's animated stuff and like people's huge HTML signatures, it feels like I'm in 1992.
When I go to forums, I hide any avatar, I hide
Yeah, it's like I have to disable all that stuff so I can read the content.
If I want to know more about them, I can click on them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Gosh,
But I really give people a choice if they want that or not. So right now we only got 14 smileys compared to like 30 that we had on the.
Good enough.
Is there a way to have different settings for different forums, like for the general chatting, whatever community forums have the stuff defaulted to show, but for the support forums have it defaulted not to show? Because if I'm looking for resources on how to fix my thing, I don't care if you like a Martin Luther King quote. Like I don't care about the dog. Like I really don't.
That's a good idea.
If the defaults could be different, then for the social stuff, have everybody's crap showing whatever.
Dude, that reply thing looks sweet. A whole little bar. That looks nice. Ooh.
Can we go back up to the top?
Yeah.
I actually think if there's a noisy section on this at the moment, it's still the header. And
Yeah.
also this big orange.
Yeah.
Because the reply to thread. I mean, sorry, I'm running. Because ultimately, people either come into post or you don't really do it from the top, do you? You do it from, or do you? I'm not, I don't know what people do. I only ever consume for you.
Yeah, I only ever reply at the bottom.
Me too.
It's like you're reading it's like the action should be connected to the content.
I just do so often, I just click whatever closest. I just whatever reply. So I usually reply to the thread itself. And you can do, and so go down to the bottom of a post. And here's the next new thing is that I've turned on quick replies. So like when you just hit reply, it just opens up a little box.
That's nice.
And then you go to advanced.
That's sweet.
And you just go to advanced, and that brings up the full editor you want. But this is like, type this.
Yeah. Oh, see, I like that.
See, I think
it's just like we probably don't need like the entire full toolbar thing.
Well, this is for the advanced.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the advanced?
Yeah, that's the advanced thing. So the quick one is just if you need to type like 3 lines in real quick.
Good.
So yeah, I personally, if we go back, I wouldn't have reply and thread as a big button at the top.
I can see if I can shrink that. I don't know if that's easy to remove.
Yeah, plus, from a content perspective, I want the person to have to read the stuff before he posts instead of, oh yeah, you're totally wrong. And it's like, dude, you didn't even read my post.
There's a lot of people who use it, probably that might be muscle memory.
Yeah.
Have it there. And I can definitely try to shrink that, make it a smaller button. I don't know how easy it is
but it depends again on the priority of the audience.
Right.
Who is our priority audience? People who are talking amongst themselves on the forum about something, or people who have just Googled and they want some help.
Right.
And if it's and everything's always a question of priorities. If the latter audience are the priority audience, they're helping people to use Ubuntu more easily and get help more quickly, then that button does not belong there.
Right.
It's cluttering it up, and it looks like a call to action. It's like, it looks like the most important thing you can do on this page, where actually the most important thing you can do on this page is read the post.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's That's what we're
Right.
discussing here. Just
Right, right.
simple hierarchy of action. What do we want people to do on this page? We want them to read, remove the button.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, make sure I can.
Going on there.
So this is, I think, going back to the original, like, George's get rid of the who's online thing.
So I don't know, do a lot of people use the who's online to like, what do you do that? What do you use it for? I mean.
I use it to see when somebody's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, it's a forum, it's not like
It
you're
also-
chatting with the person.
No.
It also raises a valid point here on IRC that you can only see it when you're logged in.
Right.
So, you know, for
If
a
it's
casual
people
user,
visiting from Google,
Okay.
then they
they'll
never
never
see
see it.
I have a question.
it.
Sorry.
And if you log in, you can also hide it.
Oh,
You can
okay.
collapse that area, I believe, or I can set it to be collapsible.
Is it possible when someone comes in through a Google search that we can add something that says, welcome random Google search user, and then we point them to a FAQ or something like that?
Instead of showing them what they wanted to see.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay, that's what, hey, I'm just asking. No, because I mean, part of the problem, like I'll do a Google search and I'll come to a page,
Right.
and like if you don't know how the site works, it like might be confusing.
I don't know.
But I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there.
Maybe. You know, we could, there's certain settings that we could just set to the unregistered users group. But I don't know how that would affect it.
Okay.
We can think about that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make,
Right.
like me, I don't, you know, I go to the sub forum I want, and I'm
Right.
involved in the discussions
Right.
and stuff.
Right.
But like, you know, sometimes someone does a search for Endless Wrapper and stuff, ends up at the wrong page. Wouldn't it be cool if we said, hey,
Right.
we noticed that you came here looking for, you know, a Broadcom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
Go to the sticky
Right.
thread on that for a certain number of like high ranking
Right.
page hits or something,
Right.
right?
That'd be good. You know, it's something we can look at.
Yeah.
I just don't know how possible it will be.
Yeah.
So I would go with getting rid of the reply to thread button.
Okay.
I also think all those, that row of links to ubuntu.com, download Ubuntu, Ubuntu community support do not need to be in the header. They either need to be above the header in a masthead,
Right.
or we could move them to the footer.
Okay.
Because they are, you know,
So-
they're taking people somewhere else
Right.
when they should be in the context.
So this was just, the weird thing was, this here before was some of these things repeated. Literally, like there's an FAQ here and FAQ here. So I added a plugin to make it do this.
Right.
So by default, they kind of, it's a weird thing, they're kind of duplicating what these things do.
I agree that there needs to be
Right,
links
so I
on-
can't remove, so this can't be removed, but I can change it and make it more, at least more useful and kind of matching what other Ubuntu websites do. So this one's called the quick bar, and this one's called the nav bar.
Right.
So if I disable this, then there's just this big blank white space here. I tried to just completely remove the nav bar, and then it's, so the nav bar holds some links, and also the search box is in the
Right.
nav bar. So once again, if you remove this,
Then that goes.
then you have to edit a whole bunch of templates, and then we're in that whole situation again that it becomes difficult to manage.
Okay. So
Actually,
So if we
go back to the
remove-
main page, and we can see this. Go down to the bottom. Let's turn that off. I was going to show you what the default thing looks like, and then you can see what the buttons were.
Oh, just log out, right?
No, I turned it off.
Oh,
I
okay.
blocked it for people to see the old view bulletin ones. I can see what I can do about that. But I think
But then
if we get rid of this bar, it involves editing templates.
So is there no way that we can have the search without all the navigation stuff? No?
I've not figured it out. I've looked at it pretty hard.
All right.
Yeah,
And is there-
V bulletin is.
It's not, this is not, so this is basically CSS in a wrapper.
Mhm.
And you edit templates, and it kind of makes the CSS on the fly. And they use their own their own settings and their own variables, and it's a pain in the ass.
So,
Okay.
A semi-related question is
Yeah.
probably a loaded question. Why do we use vBulletin?
We have, the first forums was on PHP BB,
Mhm.
and it just, after 10,000 users, it started working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the really big ones
Yeah,
are vBulletin.
Because ours switched to the new PHP BB, and they're kind of maintaining it. But
I don't know if there's any way possible we could transfer the database
okay,
in any way, shape, or form.
all right.
I looked, I tried to say, well, you know, I considered everything when I did this upgrades, and I said, and I looked around, and there was no tools for converting vBulletin back to PHP Bulletin. So it either, we'd have to get rid of the entire database, which I think that's a little bit drag.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that was good. You know, I agree getting rid of everything that's a non-supported one,
Right.
but we don't want to get rid of the party data.
Yeah, we don't want to get rid of let's name John T, you know, cool threads and stuff. That kind of historical stuff we should keep, I think.
Yeah.
But the old support stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, I did consider that, you know, first, you know, because I thought, well, that'd be different, and then it'd make all the free software lovers really happy, but.
Well, to me, it's more of our ability to
Right.
fix stuff. Because I'm
Okay.
sure
And
James would love to have PHP running on a canonical server, I'm sure. Oh, this is also PHP.
So on IRC, we've got, SFOX, the staff use what? Oh, okay.
the
Who's online?
Who's online?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that.
So yeah, we're not getting rid of that.
Okay, so the other, I do think that we need to look at a way of dealing with that navigation. Again, it's not a blocker. It might be a piece of work we do, and it has to. I think it's one of those things where it's design tech have to actually work on it at the same time.
Right.
If we go off and draw something and come to you and go, hey, what about this? And then we have to, then you might spend a lot of energy trying to implement
Right.
something that's very hard.
Right.
I think we just need to set up time to
Right.
talk about it or schedule it.
Right. And it might be somebody on your team that you know.
Yeah,
I think it's
they can get
somebody.
into
I'm not a web developer.
No.
And,
Yeah.
and so,
I didn't mean it like that. That was an agreement. No. Oh, okay.
no, I can tell from her face. Damn.
Oh dear.
That's you told Mike. Don't try any more web development.
I blushed. I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't mean it.
No,
like
that's
that.
all right. I knew that from day one. You don't have to tell me. So I think the main action we need to do is get the login working.
Yeah, I think get the login working.
Launchpad login working, and everything else on the Etherpad list we can definitely.
Yeah, I think we just sort of, and then because another little thing that would make a difference is a bit of space between those.
It's right here,
Yeah,
and like from there.
like between the big the sections.
Right.
Just it needs a bit of breathing space.
Right.
Probably.
And I might be able to do that within the system there's some certain padding settings. I just have to find out where that setting's at.
Because the padding seems to, is that
It's
one
almost
row
like
in a
every year.
table? Yeah. Anyway, I would suggest some
Right.
space between each of the sections, like the new to Ubuntu, those
Right.
need some distance, but
Yeah.
and that probably make it quite a difference to
Right.
the feel of it, and make it feel a lot less
Right.
Is there a nicer way to do tags other than the bold kind of red? Is there like a cute icon we can use or something instead?
I mean the prefixes.
Yeah, for like the variants.
And we got so many of them.
Oh, okay.
So we got one for Ubuntu, Kubuntu, we got from all the different variants. And,
Okay.
And on certain ones, we got like hardware ones. And
Oh,
so
okay.
There's way too many, and
Okay.
Okay, so we get the login working and then we publish it.
yeah.
And then, then we can work out bits that we can take little bits and work on them
Right.
rather than trying to do all of it.
Right. And get the community involved, make
Yeah.
them feel part of the project, and
Yeah,
therefore
exactly.
What is that dude doing in the icon?
Spitting.
spitting. He does what they
It looks like he's like,
Smoking.
no, it looks like he's like inhaling crack and his eyeballs are.
That's just,
We need to talk to Marcus about that.
Yeah. So if you got any of those,
Trump bias showing them.
so another thing is on
It's kind of a scary Pac-Man.
the design.
Is it an official one?
He is an official one. I'm just looking at
Is there-
which one he
Yes.
I was mentioning, so on the design website, you have the Ubuntu form logo with the forms is over here.
Yeah.
If you can get me a copy of that in SVG format, I could try to apply it and see if that looks different. And
It would look cooler, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are trying to
That's
do
just
that
what I built.
anyway.
Because it's like Ubuntu forums.
But I think that's
Yeah.
definitely something we've got and we should send over.
yeah.
Because, yeah. I was going to say that, but I thought, no.
No, that's something I like put together in 5 minutes. So if you got something,
Dude, Mike, it looks really good. It looks way better than.
Sure.
This, yeah, like I
Then
said, there's
what we
nothing
have.
here blocking release. I
Okay.
think it's a really good job.
okay, great.
You should
can
pre-fill the
play-
quick reply like, that's it, I'm switching to Arch.
Unity sucks.
Yeah.